What's up?
Oh, what's going on?
Hello?
Yeah, can you?
Hey B.
What's up? Hey.
Nothing. So you said you got a Glock recently?
Yeah, I got a Glock 34 a few weeks ago.
That's the long slide 40, right?
Long slide 9mm. But
Oh,
yeah,
it's a 9.
it's the same
So the
exact.
35 is the 40?
Yep.
Gotcha. Hey, what are the Glock models between 35 and 41?
I think most of them are probably 380 models, if I'm not mistaken, that are law enforcement only.
Let's see.
Let's go.
36,
There's only two models that are 380.
Yeah, because that's like 5 model
Um,
numbers that are
uh,
completely unaccounted for.
No, they're all accounted for. The
yeah,
only one that isn't is the 40.
30. The
You have
Glock 30.
45 gap in there.
Oh, that's what.
Those are the
Okay.
I knew it
last
was
two.
weird. I knew it was a weird caliber, something that wasn't real.
They're all on Glock's website.
Yeah, on the products page. I'll put the link in there for you.
Well, let's see. That'd be what, 3 models of 45 gap? You have like a full size, a compact, and a subcompact of 45 gap. That's still 3.
Hmm. I
Then you
don't
would
know. It
have to
might only
have
be two. It
what?
might only be two.
There's 3.
I don't know. It's on their
37.
site. Is there three? Is there a
Yeah,
subcompact for?
yeah, I just posted the link in there. It's 37, 38, and 39 are all the Gap models.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
what's a
if you get
36?
380s, there's five.
36 is the small 40, right? Or no, it's the
No, it's
Oh, 36, that
45
is that
ACP.
Franken gun they
the
had.
small
Single,
45.
it's a single
Okay,
stack
that's right.
ACP.
Yeah.
No,
That's
it's not
right.
the Franken gun. It's a single stack 45
Well,
ACP.
didn't they make that because a lot of people were like taking different guns and putting them together?
No, you're thinking of the 30S.
Oh, okay.
The
Well, that
30S
shows you
has
how
the
much I know about
36.
Glocks. What was that?
Oh, the 30S has the 36 slide on a 30 frame.
Oh, okay.
So the
Now, didn't you just make
slide
a
of the stack.
Ralph? Didn't you just do a 19 or a 26 frame on with a 19 slide?
I cut down the 19 frame to a 26 length.
There, yeah. Okay, that's what it was. I knew it was close to that.
Is that what they call a 26 long slide?
Some people do, yeah.
26L. They're
I
bringing
think
back the
it,
7. You know they're bringing back the 17L when they come out with these threaded barrels.
Oh, people have been clamoring for it. No, the Glock has had a threaded barrel part number for a long time.
Yeah, I know, but
It's
it's
nothing
been.
new.
Yeah, I know, it's been European. You had to. There's all European threads. I don't know. Are the ones coming out with? Are they going to be European threads too? Or do you know?
I didn't even look. I don't buy factory threaded barrels, so I never really cared.
Because I found. I know what you're talking about that they've been doing the factory barrels for a while. Because when I was just looking around for the barrel I was going to get for mine, I found theirs that come threaded, but to order them in these weird European threads.
Yeah,
You
they
don't
don't make
buy.
thread adapters.
You don't buy. You said you don't buy threaded barrels for factory.
Well, not factory. Just not Glock factory ones.
Oh, okay.
Not really. Well, there were better, there are always better
Options, yeah.
options available.
How do you
You
even
should let
order
them.
them?
You should.
Do you have to do it order the barrel separately, or if I mean I guess if you get directly from Glock, you can tell them. I don't know how that
You
works.
can order through an armorer. You can order it. It has a part number. I can pull out my Glock part list and
It's
tell you the
on.
part number, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it's been in the catalog. That's why I don't understand why anyone's saying it's something new. Big deal.
Yeah. Well, they
So,
were
still
making.
can't
They were
shoot lead
making.
through it.
You still can't do what?
Still can't shoot lead through it. So,
Oh yeah.
if I'm gonna buy an extra barrel, why wouldn't I buy one that I can shoot lead through as well?
Well, I mean, you can shoot lead through them. It's just a pain.
Well, no, I'm not gonna mess with it. So,
You're not gonna take the risk.
it's not a risk. Like I'm worried about.
I'm with Guru on that one.
It's just dumb. It's just I don't understand.
There's no reason to spend all that money when you can spend a similar amount of money and get so
You
much more
get
utility out of
the
it.
top of the line rifling. It's like 5R rifling and that you would get in a. It's better than that, really. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna throw this trash down it. So, I know I'm not
Well,
doing
it
it.
doesn't
I'm
hurt
not.
the barrel. I mean, it's just the lead's soft. You can, as long as you as long as you take care of it, it's not gonna hurt the barrel at all. But it's no worse than copper fouling. It just gets bad. It's when you don't.
Well, hell, that's like saying
Don't
if
keep
you
it up.
take good care of it, you can store it in a bucket of salt water. You just have to make sure you clean it real good every 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, like, I would just rather not go through all that extra hassle if I don't have to.
Yeah, I don't. That's the whole point. Why would you take your nice car down the bumpy road? Will it go down the bumpy road? I bet it will. Do you want to do it all the time? Well, sure, go ahead. I mean, that's fine. I'm just don't do it. I don't really care if the sure, whoever's gun, whatever. I just don't do it with mine. It's not that hard. Buy a different barrel. With all this money you save with using your reload and stuff, and you can't afford a different barrel, then you're not reloading right. You know what I'm saying? This just doesn't make sense to me. It's silly. No one can make a good argument for it at all. So, if you want to put like a handful of rounds, magazine through it at the range one time to see if it does it, see what happens. Whatever.
Well, yeah, that's what I've been doing at this point. Because I've been
It's
playing
dumb.
around with it. I'll go out and shoot 10 or 15 rounds,
No,
and
I would
then
not even put a hint of thought into trying to make something work or beyond that. Not in the least. I'll tell you what, XDs don't feed semi-auto wad cutters, or don't feed wad cutter bullets. No one, do you ever hear anyone say that? No, because no one does it. Very few people do it. I'm one of those people. And if you look into it, you'll see that I'm right. It sucks. The way that it ejects, it catches on the shoulder of the next round feeding up. So guess what? Can't run. I have to accept that I can't run those through there. I can spend all day and night trying to figure out, rearrange this angle, feed ramp, open up the whatever, and maybe, or I can just say, you know what, I can't shoot semi-auto, I can't shoot wad cutters through these, and move on.
Yeah.
Get a different
oh, well,
gun.
that's
If
what I'm.
that's
I
really
mean,
what I want to do.
well, I'm definitely. I mean, I'm waiting to save up just a little bit more money before I get a new barrel because I'm saving up some money for vacation right now. So during that time, and plus I'm waiting for the barrels to come in stock. So I'm just gonna play around with it a little bit, just experiment, and I'm not gonna spend any more money on trying to get it just right. I'm just gonna see what happens, and then I'll probably end up buying the barrel anyways. And I'm getting into the just experimenting with the 9mm cartridge in general because it's the first time I've reloaded it. And that's really a lot of the reasons I've been doing the stuff I've been doing too, is to get a good load worked up as far as powder charge and everything. Which I finally got some rounds to work today. I've been working up the past few days when I was shooting.
This is probably going to be useless whenever you get your new barrel, right?
What is?
All that powder work,
Oh, man.
like what you're working up.
Well, no,
Yeah, because your pressure is going to be different, right?
you talking about the cyclic rate? It's gonna be easier or harder to cycle.
Well, just the dimensions of the barrel.
It's
Having
the same
difficulty
length.
pushing lead through the polygonal rifling barrel. I'm just
No,
saying the dope that you're getting it just might be useless to whenever you finally put a proper lead barrel on that.
you're talking about the powder charge is going to be different.
Right.
Well, I've been mainly focusing on power charge. I was just seeing how low power charge I can get and still cycle the gun. It had nothing to do with lead bullets. So I was really testing two things at once: how well that load worked, and then whether or not I was doing
You don't think
the
pressure from the lead affects everything else along there?
I
You
guess
think
it
that they're
does because
different?
you're right because the Storm Lake
Yeah,
barrel supposedly
just a bit. Yeah, the
has a
seal on
tighter.
it makes a huge difference. Trust me.
So
Yeah,
you
it
think that
makes a huge.
you think when I get the Storm Lake barrel, it'd be possible
Just
maybe that I
quit.
could
Just
shoot
quit.
lesser powerful rounds? Because
Very possibly, but
that'd
it
be
doesn't
awesome.
matter. The point is, you're wasting. You're. I'm just telling you, you're wasting your energy, time, and money developing something for something you're not going to use. I mean, I understand you want to shoot and you probably want to load your rounds and stuff. So just load rounds and find a used. You can get them, relatively cheap. I don't understand you want to save money, this and that and stuff, dude. But you're wasting it by trying to get, like I said, dope on stuff that you're not going to use in production. It's just, I wouldn't do it. I think it's a waste of time. But
Done a lot of good reliability testing on your gun so far, minus the barrel.
not really, and not if you're doing minimum.
No, yeah, I've
You
been
know,
shooting
not
minimum.
if you're doing minimum cycle
But,
stuff.
but like, I think
That's true.
the powder I'm using green dot right now. It's really finicky. Like it's very spot on. Like point 0.1 grain either way can make a big difference with this powder.
It's not good. It's not
And
good at all.
well, why you talking about it not being safe?
Not necessarily safe, but there shouldn't be that much of a
Yeah,
variance in that
I may
small of a change.
switch. Yeah, because I mean, if you're doing mass
Is it a
reloaded,
handgun powder? You sure it's not a shotgun powder? A lot of guys like to use shotgun powders in their handguns. Stupid, if you ask me.
I'm pretty sure it's handgun powder. It's in my Lyman cast bullet 9mm Luger data. The powder's listed there, so
That's good then.
yeah. But what was I saying? Like I was saying, it's really finicky and stuff. But I was just kind of messing around with it today. I finally got it. The maximum's like 4.4 or something like that. So I loaded some rounds that were 4.4. I loaded some that were 4.3 and 4.2. And surprisingly, I only shot two of the 4.2s, and they actually cycled. So I'm gonna load like 10 of those and see if I can get them to cycle reliably. And if not, I'll
How
bump.
many? Two?
Yeah, well, I'd originally pulled 10.
Well, I guess.
Yeah, that's not really enough to base
If
it
you're,
on.
that's the way you're doing it. Yeah. You want to do 5 to 10.
Right.
Even if you're doing a test batch like that.
That's what I was gonna do. I was just gonna do 4.3 and 4.4, and I had 10 cases that were set out in primes. And I was like, you know what? I haven't because I'd already done 4.0. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and hit 4.2. I was like, I'll just do a couple of them or something. So I'm gonna go back and do that again maybe, but we'll see. Now, if I wasn't cast, no, I do know. I mean, people shoot hard cast bullets through their Glocks, no problem, with no leading. So it is. I mean, if you have the formula down, you can do it successfully. But like you said, there's no point in wasting the time and the energy when I can just get in a barrel and be done with it.
That's me. Spend your time on other stuff. Save your ammo and your powder and all that. Until you get what you're going to use and then sort it out. Man, I knew guys whenever I was shooting competition, they'd buy their powder by the lot. Like literally by the pallet at the beginning of the season. Because they wanted it all out of the same lot. They didn't
That's
want a
crazy.
variation
Awesome.
they wanted
Right.
a variation from buying powder in the middle of the season and then having some type of different manufacturing
Right.
variants that the other stuff
If
didn't.
if they tweak the formula just a little bit or something and they didn't know about it.
If they were going to shoot a match in Pennsylvania and they were in Arizona practicing, they would put their ammo in an ice chest while they're at the range and get it to the temperature it was going to be in Pennsylvania. So whenever they chronoed it, it was as close to the humidity
Wow.
and temperature
So
that
they
it was
know
going to be, so that would chrono whenever it was right.
make power factor and everything.
Yeah, dude.
I guess when you're going that far to compete, you're pretty serious about it. So you gotta do it kind of, you want to do that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
So that's my whole point. If you're going to get data and you're going to get good stuff, I don't know, if you got a bunch of time and money and don't give a shit, do whatever. But I'm just saying, like, don't rely on that stuff too much. So. Fucking.
I just hope I don't have to get the barrel fit in. These Stormlight barrels, I mean,
I had to fit
the
one.
majority of the time they're drop in, but there are a couple of reviews people saying they had to get them just fit minorly.
Yeah, I had to fit one.
What does that usually involve? Like, what does the gunsmith usually do to the barrel and it?
No. Well, you got to take a file or a stone or something like, depends on how out it is or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you want to square it up and you go insanely slow, go off of a square surface and use marking fluid
Mm-hmm.
as you're doing it. Or you can use, some guys will use like a big chisel tip Sharpie. So marking fluid's better if you have it. Yeah, and keep fitting it in.
Just so,
I mean, test it in multiple guns. That's the other thing.
yeah.
If you're planning on putting in multiple guns, you need to take all of them, or at least the slides, and tell the gunsmith that.
See, that's why I wish I looked up. I was looking for Stormlight dealers, but like the closest one to me is like an hour and a half away in Atlanta at least.
Did you look on eBay? Did you look on
Yeah, I did look on
Gunbroker?
eBay. I found some on eBay, but I didn't find any Glock 34 ones. But all of them that I did find were extremely priced high,
Like how much?
like $200.
Yeah, 134. You're gonna be around there.
I can get it for 160 shipped from Glock store, and they're supposed to have them in next Thursday.
Yeah.
Because I talked to one of their,
Um,
I was talking to one of their guys yesterday. And then I sent Midway an email, knowing I probably wouldn't get anywhere because it says overdue on their stock. I figured they're just waiting on Storm Lake to give them the barrels. And they're like, well, we'll have it in as soon as we can. And they don't have any idea. So I was like, yeah, well, I'll be going with you guys. I would have saved $5 ordering from Midway, but I'm not gonna wait 3 or 4 weeks just to save $5.
son of a bitch. Here. Just almost accidentally threw away like 20 of my targets.
The only thing I'm worried about when I get this new barrel is if that's gonna, take all the problems away. Because I've also been getting, tumbling. But I'm assuming that's from the leading.
Yeah, dude.
So I mean that should pretty much go away.
Do you have sights? Did you get sights yet?
No, I'm still using factory sights.
At least they're adjustable.
Yeah, they're adjustable. I can adjust them for the barrel.
I like to try blacking out the rears. That's nice. It's a good move.
And just leaving the white dot on the front.
Yep. It's faster. You'll be faster with it.
How do you do that? Like a Sharpie, or do you use like a model paint?
No, just use Sharpie because you'll be able to wipe it off if you really don't like it. Just put a piece of black, well, I don't know. I don't really care too much about the slide, but you could put a piece of masking tape or
Just
whatever next
right,
to it.
temporarily try it. Yeah,
Well, no, I mean you could put a piece of masking tape so you don't get the Sharpie on the slide, and then just Sharpie out the rear and
oh, gotcha. Yeah.
masking tape off so you don't get it on the slide, and then see if you like it. And then if you don't, take some rubbing alcohol or something and wipe it off, and you have a white again. Trust me. Most target sights are all black. So it's just reducing it to just the front sight is going to help you.
Now, why is it that when you take off all the markings from from the back sight and leave the front markings, how does that, like, I understand that everybody does that, but I guess I don't understand how that helps.
Because ultimately, whenever you establish a sight picture, what's the only thing that should really be in focus? The front sight, right? Whenever
Yeah.
you get a good sight picture, the front sight's the only thing that's really in focus. The rear sight's blurry, your target's blurry. Therefore, that's the first thing you want to get in focus as you're bringing your gun up. So if that's the only thing that you have to focus on, it's quicker. To come up to find that in its natural position where you expect it to be. The rear sight causes your eye to try to look between the front and the rear, and try to make that equation when in reality you probably don't need it. All black sights just really allow you to focus on the distance, real marksmanship.
What if you were to shoot with just the front sight and like have it really low profile?
What do you mean?
Like if you were just to aim off.
Not have the rear for reference?
Yeah.
I don't really see. You would need. I don't know. That's not a good idea.
I always thought it'd be neat just to do it for fun, like just practice with it.
That would be like shooting a shotgun with a bead sight, but with a grip.
Yeah.
Without the shoulder stock to reference.
That's the difference.
Hold it in place.
I guess.
It's not gonna work.
Well, yeah, that won't work at all. I mean, I guess if you took the rear sight completely off, you could really work on your point shooting.
Yeah.
Because that's all you would be doing.
Or take all your sights off, and then you'd really it'd help you get maybe a little bit feel the gun a little bit better.
You just tell people, oh no, this is my concealed carry gun. You see, it has no sights on it, so that I have nothing to snag or aim.
Yeah. Is that your text tone?
Yeah. Kind of loud.
I did something kind of cool today. I slugged my Glock barrel. That was kind of fun. Kind of neat looking at the bullet and how the rifle affects it.
Wait, I'm sorry. I guess I don't know what that means.
It's pretty much you're supposed to use a round lead ball, but I didn't have one the right size, so I just use one of my lead bullets, and you drop it down the barrel with a wooden dowel and then you measure the diameter of the bullet to get an idea of what your bore diameter exactly is. But it's kind of hard to measure on the polygonal rifling because it's like not a perfect circle.
So, I guess that just tells you, like...
It tells you what sizing die you should probably get for your lead bullets.
Oh, okay.
For that mold, because each mold is different.
That shows you how much I know about reloading.
Well, that's more casting than it is reloading.
Yeah.
You don't need to do this for reloading if you're not using lead bullets. And really, you don't even really need to do it at all if you're still using lead bullets. I didn't do it for my 45. I didn't have to.
Oh, what is the inside diameter of your 45? Like, what size projectiles do you use?
I think they drop like at 453 or 454. That's been a while since I measured them, but the sizing die I use is 452. So it makes sure all the bullets are at least 452. And some of the bullets, when you pass them through the sizing die, they doesn't even push on them. They're already that size.
Huh.
Or possibly they're smaller, 451.
They just fall through.
Yeah.
Now, if they're 451, would you get a good pressure seal inside the barrel?
That's why you factory crimp them when you seat the bullet. So yeah.
No, that crimps the case to the bullet. But I'm saying, like, once it fires, if it's like a 451 instead of 452, how does that, like, do you still get a very good gas seal around the bullet itself? when it's traveling down the barrel, or does does a lot of the gas escape around it and get in front of it?
I mean, I really don't know, to be honest with you. I've never had any problems with it. So, I mean, it probably wouldn't be a problem if you're shooting close short range pistol, but like if you're shooting like long range rifle competitions and you're using lead bullets, you probably want to use like a single bullet cavity mold, dropping each bullet at a time, making sure you're pouring them just right and everything.
You ought to run a bunch of bullets through there and then like separate them out. Oh, these are the ones that fell through. These are the ones that.
Well, you can look at them and tell. Yeah, you can look at the bullet and you can see where the lead it's shiny where it pulled the lead off, and then you can see the ones that are still just dark. They look exactly like they did when they got poured.
Hmm.
And then what that is probably, I'd probably say that the ones that all the ones that actually had pressure on them when I sized them, were probably all came from the same cavity too. Because I'm using a six cavity mold, so each cavity pours different.
Yeah, that makes sense. How many bullets can you do like per hour? I guess would be a good metric when you're using like a 6 cavity die.
Now that I've gotten pretty good at it, once I get everything set up, I guess probably, I don't know, 500 to 600 an hour maybe.
That's not bad at all.
No, I mean, I'm sure there's people who can go a lot faster than that. And I'm using
You're using higher weights, right?
yeah, the lead I'm using is will weights. And I'm using the way I'm doing it is I'm pouring it from not a ladle, but like it's a ladle, but it's made for lead casting. But they make furnaces that pour from the bottom, so all you do is stick the mold underneath it and pull a handle, and it pours lead out the bottom. You just move the mold over each move each cavity under the spout and fill them up.
It's like an ice cube tray.
Yeah, it's a lot
Actually, that's
faster.
what it's like. How much would one of those pour from the bottom furnaces cost?
The by themselves, they're like you can get the one from Lee, which I've heard pretty good stuff about. It's like $60, I think, 50 something. It's pretty. I'll send you the link to all I have that excludes my molds. What I bought, which is pretty much the minimum you can get, and get everything you need to get going.
That link won't help me very much. I'm on my iPad and I don't have an internal chat.
Oh, never mind. I'll tell you what it's called though. You can look it up.
Yeah.
Let me find it. So I got it off Amazon a while back, like last year. Oh, what the heck? It won't let me see it because it's been so long ago. Let me find it. Hang on, I can find it. They still sell it. Lee.
All right. What website are you on?
Amazon.
Oh, Amazon.
Yeah, I buy almost all my stuff from Amazon that I can. It's Prime shipping. Okay, it's called the Lyman Big Dipper Casting Kit, and it's $73 with Prime shipping. So, and that gives you everything you need except for the lead and your bullet molds, pretty much.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, it's a really good deal. I was really happy with it. It comes with an awesome book. That's like the book itself that comes with it is like $20 by itself. I looked it up. It's like, can you see me when I turn my camera on, or will you be able
Yeah,
to
no,
see me?
it's like everything works with it.
Okay, well, you see this book? This is the book that comes with it. And it's like that thick.
Yeah.
And so this comes with it has all this load data in it for cast bullets. And then it comes with your actual furnace, your lead dipper, 3 things of bullet lube, and ingot mold, so you can pour your ingots after you get done.
And I guess those ingots are just to store leftover lead
Yeah.
with?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And when you get your scrap lead, the best way to do it is what I actually did. Furnace, like a big one. I just I had a big stainless steel pot, and I took cinder blocks, or not solid cinder blocks, so it was just cement blocks, and I made like a 3-wall furnace, and I set the stainless steel pot over the top of them, and then I set a fire underneath it, and I had a 5-gallon bucket full of lead and scrap, and I just poured it all in there bit by bit.
Huh.
And I mean, it took me like 2 hours to do it. Like I would sit there and let it melt, and then I'd pull some of the scrap out, and I ended up with like 50 pounds of lead. I poured it all in ingots. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so I'm looking at the Lyman Big Dipper casting kit
Mm-hmm.
here on Amazon. Oh, and I guess it says 115 volts. This black thing I'm looking at that the pot is sitting on
Mm-hmm.
is like a heating element.
That's the base for it. The heating element, or those white. You see those white pipes going
Coming
to
out.
the.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the heating elements.
But you took your pot off and you made your own thing for it?
No, I still have it on that little thing, but I don't. I usually set like on a block or something, so it's a little bit elevated when I'm working. Because I don't work on a table. I wish I had a table outside I could do it on, so I could be level with it, or at least stand up and do it.
Huh.
But the bullet lube they send you though is kind of, I mean, it's kind of stupid because in order to use it, that lube is hard lube, which is what you use in a lubricating dye or lubricating press. You actually have to buy a whole new press to use that kind of lube.
Ugh.
So I don't even use it. You can use it to flux your lead, which is like, it cleans. You put it in lead and you set it on fire and it burns all the crap off of it.
Huh.
But you don't. I don't use any of it to lube my bullets because the way I lube my bullets is what you call tumble lube or pan lube. You just put them all in a pan and you pour the lube on there and you just shake them all around and let them dry for a day or two.
And you
know
just swirl them
exactly how to
around
lube
like
your
popcorn?
bullets.
What's that?
I was being a smart ass. Go on. Sorry.
What'd you say, Jacob?
I was just gonna say you put them in a pan, you pour some oil in there, and you just shuffle them around like popcorn kernels you're trying to pop.
Yeah, but you don't use regular oil. You got to use the right kind of. The stuff is
No, I
called.
wasn't gonna use. I was gonna use like that special Astroglide stuff they sell.
Cooking insects? What are you guys doing? What's going on here?
It's called Lead Liquid Alox. It's really
Is it
thick
drug
stuff.
chat?
Or what?
What did you say?
It's a drug chat?
Oh, I doubt it's a drug chat. It'd be
Are we
more
gonna-
fun if it was.
Are we making bubble ice? What's going on?
I just said I used Astrolube for bullet lube, but yeah, sure.
Okay. All right.
I use. Well, actually, when you buy a sizing die, it comes with a bottle of the Lee Lube, and I like it really good. The only thing is it smells kind of bad, but it works really good. I like it. It's just called Lee Liquid Alox. It's like really thick. You can't. It comes in a squeeze bottle, but you can't really squeeze it out. You have to open it and like just kind of, or like shake it out. And it's kind of like marine grease is pretty much the best way to describe the viscosity of it. And I just put a few glops in the pan and tumble them around and then let them sit. My 45 bullets are great. I mean, I haven't had any problem shooting those through my 1911. I love it. It's great. But it's also a lot easier because it's a slower bullet. The faster the bullets get, the harder the bullet has to be, and a lot easier it is for it to lead, because it's moving a lot faster down the barrel. It's pressure and stuff.
My uncle was telling me one time he does a lot of reloading,
Yeah.
and he was telling me about how he was reloading for his 22-250.
Yep.
And he was working up some pretty hot fucking rounds, and he said at one point he was shooting some pretty hot ones. I mean, like they were above, like they were consistently like either 50 to 100 feet per second above 4,000.
Holy crap.
Well, 4,000 is pretty much normal for a 22-250, but they were significantly faster.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like keyholing at like 20 yards. And he couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. So he went back to his reloading die, and they said you have to use like sealed bullets because over 4,000 feet per second, you will melt the lead from inside the copper jacket.
Dang. That's crazy.
Can you get keyholing from just bad reloading? I mean, I know that sounds kind of odd, but like, what's it caused mostly? Is it by the charge behind the bullet?
I think that keyholing wouldn't be like the only reason you would get keyholing from charge is if you just don't have enough charge to engage the rifling and get the right spin on the bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Because keyholing happens when it becomes destabilized in midair.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that gas pressure works is it is a uniform, even pressure upon the entire surface. So if the back of the bullet is like being acted upon by the gas is going to push it straight. What you would normally get it from is if you have, like, if it comes out of the
Barrel extremely
Yeah.
slow. Like
it
borderline
comes out of
borderline squib rounds is probably what it'd be like.
Like
yeah,
you can't.
because they just can't spin fast enough to stabilize themselves.
They're not gonna like seat off center anyway, based using dies and all that, right? They're gonna
No,
seat pretty good, and
as long as you put the bullet on the case pretty square, like my
and you
40.
and you do crimp and not crimp, right? Some people don't crimp it.
No, I crimp mine. You have. I mean, you
You kind of have to, right?
want to, yeah. So if you don't, some barrels won't even. It won't even let you chamber the round. It won't even fit in the chamber because the case is too expanded. Depends on how tight the lead is, and the throat and everything.
Reloading, Jack.
No, my 9mm loads I've been making. They look nice. They're perfect. It's just they're not made. It's kind of hard to get them to work with this barrel. So no, but other than that, they're really good. I'm really happy with them. The bullets have turned out real nice. 9mm is so much easier to cast than 45, just because I guess it's less lead, less to go wrong. It fills up the mold faster, and there's like my bullets are like there's no wrinkles in them at all. It's pretty awesome.
Well, what's the difference in grain weight?
Probably 1 or 2 grains from what's advertised on the mold.
Well, I meant like what's your grain weight between your 9mm loads and your 45 caliber loads?
Oh god, well I'm shooting 230 grain 45 and I'm shooting 124 9mm, so
Yeah. So those 9mm are like 60% the lead per bullet that those 45s
yeah,
are.
exactly. That's why I like casting too, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'd hardly ever have to refill the pot. I'm like, dang, I'm like these are good. This lead's going a long way. I made a bunch of 9mm the other night. I probably got like 300 or 400, 500 in there now. I don't know. I haven't made any 45s recently. I need to make some more. I made some more 45s and I loaded the rest of them up. And I've got about 300 or 400 rounds of them loaded now.
Still trying to find a good setup for the 9 for your barrels.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna order that Storm Lake barrel, and that should be the end of it. But now that I think about it, if I wouldn't have already bought the mold for 9mm and the sizing die, I probably would have never even shot. I probably would have just bought bullets because, I mean, you can get plated bullets pretty cheap.
Did you trade that die back in from Midway?
No, I'm not going to. I emailed them about it, and they were like, "Oh, you have to send us the whole set." And I had already used some of their dies in their set, so I'm sure. But I mean, I guess they could have just switched it out. But I was like, "Nah." The time sending it back and everything, so I'm just gonna sell it on eBay probably. And I went ahead and bought the die that I needed through eBay or something.
I'll be right back. I gotta go do something.
Alright, we'll be here.
But if I were you, if you were gonna get a dipper, that dipper kit's good. But that's a good way to do it and see if you like it and how it works out, I would say. But then if you really like it, you're probably gonna want to upgrade your furnace. I want to upgrade mine now. I just really can't afford to spend. I really don't want to spend the money on it right now. So.
Dude, I don't know how you got the reloading setup that you have. It's like you're younger than I am, and I'm fucking broke all the time.
Oh, I didn't pay for all of it. my dad's been reloading since like the late '90s.
Oh, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, he's the only thing I pay for everything for my calibers, like everything that has to do with 45 ACP 9mm. I've paid for. Only thing that's his is the press. That's it. Which really,
So what does he reload?
we reload our rifle rounds for our hunting cartridges, but he doesn't reload like in great amounts. He just reloads like a box every hunting season.
Oh.
And then he'll reload for my grandpa and stuff like that.
Must be nice only wanting to shoot about a box a year.
Well, yeah, I mean, for your hunting rifles, you really don't need to shoot more than that.
Yeah.
We shoot a little bit before each season, make sure everything's still set in, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And he did it. He worked out the best loads for him. He experimented with that when I was real young. He's got some load data sheets that are really old where he did all kinds of different, trying different powder charges and stuff, and getting the most accurate round he could for the gun.
What calibers are they? Or caliber?
We reload for 260 7mm mag, and we have some 30-06 dies and 300 ultra mag.
300 Ultra Mag.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the same thing as similar to 338 Lapua, but not nearly as. But I mean, I don't know what the differences are in the cases, but it's a little bit cheaper, I think, if you buy the rounds factory.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a big old honking gun.
Well, okay, I can't own a gun in 300 Remington Ultra Mag because apparently that cartridge was designed in Canada, so I refuse to own it.
I have no idea. We don't even know. It's actually my grandpa's gun that we reload for. So I don't know a whole lot about it. But it's a nice gun. He's got a Remington Sendero, Remington 700 Sendero model. It's like a big thick barrel on it. It's a gun that you'd want to use if you're sitting on a big cornfield, not if you were hunting in like thick underbrush tracking deer or hogs.
Well,
Heavy.
oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna say knockdown wise, it looks like it'd be pretty freaking good. Like I just googled it and I'm on the Wikipedia page and they always have 4 or 5 different like grain weights and then just average velocities or like expected velocities and energies. It says that you can get a 150 grain bullet up to 3,500 feet per second with almost 4,000 foot-pounds of energy.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's ridiculous. That's awesome.
But I mean, I think there's some arguments about like there's some other calibers that are out there that have better ballistics than the 300 rim mag, ultra mag. Like the 338, I think is a little bit better ballistically. But I mean, for hunting and stuff, it's not like I'm shooting 1,500 yard shots. So
Yeah, no, unless you're like taking out high-value targets that you flat out cannot get closer than 700 yards from,
yeah,
there's no reason to own a 338 unless you just want to.
one. Yeah, that's the only reason I'd get one. I wouldn't mind having one just for the heck of it. If I was rich, that'd be one of the guns I'd want to have. That and then a 50 cal.
It's like that gun, the bullets for it are so expensive, I wouldn't take it if you gave it to me because I couldn't
It's like
afford
$5. It's almost like $4 a shot. It's almost, pretty much almost the same as a Barrett.
Yeah,
50 cal.
except that I can't buy a 338 at Walmart.
Yeah, and the one thing that the 338 gets you on is the brass is extremely expensive.
I believe it.
Because I was on Once Fired brass the other day, and I think it's $1 for each round, each brass casing you get. I don't know. Let me go look again. I was looking on there for 45 brass, and I saw a 338, and I was like, holy crap!
How many times could you reuse a 338 casing?
I don't know. Probably not. I mean, I'd say around 10, maybe max. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the pressures of it. But usually rifle cases like that, they don't last too long. And it depends on how hot you're loading it. Like my dad's 7 mag, he's loading it fairly hot, and I think on average, it's like 8 times. He loads them like 8 times, maybe, or 8 to 13, 14, I would say, estimate.
Okay, do you gauge your cartridge pressure in megapascals or PSI?
Probably PSI, I
just-
think is what Sam
PSI.
and everything.
Well, Wikipedia has 338 Lapua Magnum listed at 60,900 PSI.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a shit ton. Parent case was a 416 Ricky.
Okay, here it is. 338 Lapua mag brass, 50 count, $60. So it's more than $1 around. It's $1 and
That's
10 cents
ridiculous.
around for just the brass. So that's another reason not to shoot it a lot.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
9mm brass is so cheap, but it's great. I love, now that I'm getting a 9mm, like most of the guys I shoot with shoot 9mm, and most of them don't care about their brass, so I stock up on it every time I go to the range.
See, I want to get into reloading at some point. I think it'd be fun. But
Yeah, I like it. It's fun.
I'm like totally broke, so if I was going to get into it, I'll get like a single stage press.
I'll show you what I'm about to buy. Or not, I'm about to. Probably in a month, hopefully.
That same Lee you've been like showing me for like the past week.
Yeah. That it's an auto index, and it has like the turret press.
Oh, you're getting into one of those turret presses.
So it's like a sacrifice between single stage and progressive.
Yeah.
Like a middle ground.
I wouldn't say a sacrifice. I would say a compromise.
Compromise is a better word choice.